Welcome to News Brief. Today is Friday, June 27, 2025, and, well, let's go straight to Washington, right? Key day there.
Yes, totally. A big one.
The Supreme Court significantly limited the ability of federal judges, this regarding national injunctions against presidential policies, a decision that, well, was kind of expected.
That's right. It was largely anticipated. It came down as a 6-3 ruling, you see, in this specific case, Trump v. House. And what's interesting, it seems to me, is that the court focused more on the procedural aspect, on the power of the courts themselves.
Right. Not so much on the merits of the underlying issue, then.
Exactly. They didn't rule on whether Trump's executive order on birthright citizenship is constitutional or not. That wasn't the point here.
Understood. Okay.
But, well, by restricting these national injunctions in practice, let's just say it effectively unblocks that policy.
Right. It gives it a free pass, at least for the time being. And Trump, I imagine, is probably celebrating.
Oh, yes. The president celebrated the ruling pretty quickly and is now pushing hard for a spending bill to be approved before July 4th.
Wow. Wants to move fast on that.
Yes. And meanwhile, well, the tension continues with Mexico.
Still simmering.
President Sheinbaum rejected those U.S. accusations about money laundering in Mexican banks.
Yeah, the stuff tied to fentanyl and the cartels, right?
Exactly that. And asked for proof, demanded evidence. Also, the U.S. Department of Justice actually put Mexico on a list of foreign adversaries.
That's strong, placing them alongside Iran, Russia, and China, no less.
Yes, quite a strong designation, really. And this connects with the Judiciary Committee. Actually, no, it connects with the Department of Homeland Security, the DHS.
Right, with Kristi Noem at the head now.
That same one. DHS announced the end of TPS's temporary protected status for Haiti.
So there's a date now, an end date.
Yes, effective September 2nd. And also, note this, they expedited the process to fine undocumented immigrants.
Fines. Fines for not complying with deportation orders, is that it?
Exactly, up to almost $1,000 daily. It's $998 to be precise. The idea, it seems, is to encourage self-deportation.
How exactly? How would that work?
Well, with an app apparently called CB Home. The deal is if you leave voluntarily, they forgive the fine, something along those lines.
Huh. Look at that. And the raids, the ICE raids, they're continuing, I imagine?
Yes, raids continue, detentions too. There's a lot of controversy around it.
There always is, seems like.
Reports are coming in from places like Laredo in Texas and also from La Puente in California. The case of Jose Zuniga, for example, has gotten attention.
And the concern about racial profiling, that's still a major issue.
Exactly. And it's even affecting U.S. citizens like Andrea Velez in Los Angeles. They did release her on bail, but still, the arrest itself.
And the DHS denies it, as always.
Yes, the DHS denies using racial profiling. They also announced agreements with Guatemala and Honduras.
To receive asylum seekers, is that the plan?
That's what DHS claims, yes. Although, interestingly, both Guatemala and Honduras deny having signed anything, classifying them as a safe third country. So, well, we'll have to see what actually happens with that.
Okay, moving to the U.S. economy. Things are a bit strange there, right? Definitely getting mixed signals.
Yes, totally. It's a weird picture. On one hand, Wall Street is celebrating, new records being set.
The S&P 500 above 6,500. I mean, that's impressive. Why so much optimism there? Seems there are expectations tied to a possible trade agreement with China, maybe.
But the macro data, the bigger picture numbers, they don't really support that enthusiasm, do they?
No, not at all. That's the other side of the coin. GDP contraction was confirmed, down 0.5% in the first quarter.
Which is, a negative figure. Not great.
And consumer spending also fell back in May. Furthermore, core inflation, the PCE number the Fed watches, it's still stuck there at 2.7% annually.
And that surely generates debate inside the Federal Reserve. Lots of discussion.
Right. The whole discussion about whether to cut interest rates or hold steady.
Yeah. And returning to the Supreme Court for a moment, which really had a busy day, another important decision today, right? About the Affordable Care Act, the ACA.
That's right. They validated the provision for free preventive care, kept it in place.
And this includes really important things like cancer screenings, PrEP medication for HIV prevention.
Exactly. And the court rejected the objections, the ones that were based on religious grounds. So those services, they remain free under the law. Big win for ACA supporters. Okay, changing continents now. Let's go to the Middle East. Iran and Israel. The ceasefire continues, technically.
Yes, but it's fragile, isn't it? Very fragile. It's been in effect since June 24th.
Right. Incredibly fragile. Let's remember it came after that huge escalation with direct attacks between them. Something really unprecedented.
Yes, it was extremely tense there for a while. Very worrying.
And it seems Iran suffered very significant damage from those exchanges. Reports are saying so.
In what type of facilities? Any details?
Both nuclear sites like Fordo and also military bases. Casualty figures are reportedly high, too. More than 600 dead estimated in Iran.
And in Israel, there were casualties reported too, right?
Yes, 29 deaths reported in Israel. And both sides still say they reserve the right to defend themselves, meaning, well, the tension is definitely still there, simmering under the surface. And shifting over to Eastern Europe, the war in Ukraine doesn't stop.
No, not at all. It's still a grinding war of attrition, and now it's intensifying a lot in the Pokrovsk area specifically.
Putin remains firm with his overall objective, it sounds like.
Yes, he actually reaffirmed that he wants to absorb all of Ukraine eventually. He doesn't seem to be changing his stance on that.
Any news beyond the intense fighting?
Well, a new prisoner exchange was reported between the sides. It's something, at least.
And within NATO, how are things looking? It seems there's still differences, maybe growing.
Yes, a growing gap is noticeable, definitely. You have Europe promising quite a lot of military aid to Ukraine, but Trump, well, his stance on future U.S. support is more, let's say, evasive. It's not so clear-cut. Creates uncertainty.
Okay, let's change topics completely. Let's go to sports. Formula One first.
Uh-huh. The Austrian Grand Prix is coming up this Sunday. Spielberg.
Exactly. And today, in Friday's practices, McLaren looked really, really good.
Oh, yeah. Who's the fastest?
Lando Norris. He set the best time in the second practice session, FP2, and his teammate Oscar Piastri came in second, very close behind.
And Verstappen. Where did he end up?
Verstappen finished third, so, well, it looks like it could be quite interesting come Sunday. Might not be a walkover.
And in the UFC tomorrow, there's a big event, right? A numbered card.
Yep, UFC 317.
Yes, all ready for that one.
The main event is for the vacant lightweight title. Ilia Topuria taking on Charles Oliveira.
And they both made... Wait, okay, no issues there.
Yes. Both made weight today at the weigh-in, so the title fight is officially on. Good news there. And in soccer, what do we have? The Club World Cup group stage, the one here in the United States, that's wrapped up now.
Yes, it just finished. There were some important matches yesterday, Thursday.
Right. Yesterday, Manchester City they thrashed Juventus 5-2. Pretty dominant display.
Wow, 5-2.
And Real Madrid beat Salzburg pretty comfortably, 3-0.
Good results for them. And what's next? Knockout stage.
Tomorrow, Saturday, the round of 16 begins.
Any standout matches we should look out for?
Yes, look, PSG plays against Inter Miami.
Ah, well, that means Messi against his old club, PSG. Interesting.
And also European Classic, Real Madrid faces Juventus again. They cross paths pretty quickly after the group stage, huh?
Yeah, what a match that could be. Intense. And today, Friday, any soccer from this tournament?
No matches scheduled for today. It's a rest day for the teams.
Gotcha. And just to close out, quick look at entertainment. Any big movie premieres today?
Yes, actually 2 quite highly anticipated movies are arriving. One is F1, the movie about Formula One.
Right, the one with Brad Pitt starring?
That's the one.
Yeah.
And M3GN 2.0 also premieres today.
Ah, the sequel to that creepy horror doll movie.
Exactly. So something for the horror fans out there, too.
Well, that seems to cover the main headlines for today. A lot going on.
A very complete summary indeed.
Until next time.